Hey everyone, in this video we'll be going over this manga tracking application that I've built as a way for me to keep up to date with all the manga that I'm interested in across several websites. Now, what you see here is already preloaded data that I've added through this edit button, which essentially just adds data to the database. These all get scraped and gets presented back to the front end after getting fetched from the database. Now we can just click on these and it takes us to the latest one if it's available. Now, in order to see whether it's available or not, we can click this refresh button. We'll be diving into these features down the line, but to give you some context for why I built this, when I typically go to read manga online, I have to navigate to several websites, such as Manga, Webtoons, and Viz, which is a combination of both official translations, such as Viz and Webtoon, and manga aggregators, such as Manga, where you can find a bunch of just different manga. You can see here there's so many, and you can just go through several pages. And because I read so much, and I don't really keep track of my list, to be honest, it's gotten quite tedious to spend my time scrolling through every day, waiting to see when the latest chapter I'm interested in comes out. Now I can also just search here, but as my list grows larger and larger, I just forget. So that's why I built this application. So I can just put in the link that I'm interested in for the manga, and then I can just scrape it daily with this refresh button, and then it'll just present to me, and then I can just read it from there. Now I'll just go ahead and show you. You can see that some of this preloaded data has been loaded in the past and scraped in the past, as today is the 26th of the 1st. Let's just go ahead and click refresh. And what we'll see is that these features here are no longer clickable. And that's because we want this loading time to just not have the user be able to do anything really, because there's no need to do it, so we've just disabled it. We can see on the supported websites that I have a bunch of different websites loaded at the moment, and these are just the websites where these manga come from, and that I've been able to put in the time to understand their structure, their HTML structure, when I scrape it for the results. I may add more in the future, but it is a fair amount of work, and I work 9 to 5, so it is what it is. Now we can see here that the data has been updated, and we can see that, oh nice, it's updated, these are the latest dates, and the manga chapter is now the latest one. So we click on One Piece, it's chapter 1104, and we can see that, cool, it's the latest one. And just to check these other ones, like this, cool, it's the latest chapter. Now we can also see that the list appears here on the right, and then these dates are actually different to the dates here, and this is because these are not the manga chapter links, not the latest one. These actually just take you directly to what you're interested in. So you have two ways of checking. You can either refresh and then see your latest updates here, or if you want to just go directly to the website, maybe you want to just read some old ones, you can just scroll to the bottom, you can do that too. Now as this list grows bigger, you can also use search. So we see this search happens immediately. It's very nice. We can also sort alphabetically. Set it back to none. We sort it by date. We see the latest ones come out first, or the oldest ones here. Now if we combine these two filters, what we'll see is that I've now sorted alphabetically, and within the alphabetical order we're going to sort by date. So it happens to sort by date within alphabetical groups. So that's what we see here. Now to see how you actually end up adding data to the database, we have this edit modal that pops up. And for some quick features, we can see we can also sort these ones by name, and the search happens the exact same. We have this scroll button which auto scrolls to the bottom, and and auto scrolls to the top. And we can add new manga. Now I'll first show you what happens if you were to add a website that isn't supported. Let's try creepy scans. Yes. And let's try add volcanic age. Now keep note that this isn't in a part of the supported websites here. So if I were to add this, what we'll see is that we get told very quickly that, okay, this is not supported, see supported websites. Another thing to check is, let's say, as this database gets bigger and we get too lazy to search, we forget to, and we will try to add in a manga that already exists. In this case, One Piece. So let's just go to Viz, One Piece, we add it. You also see when we add it, it always scrolls us to the bottom to see where it's getting added. It gets this title called new manga. And then we add. This won't work because it already exists and it tells you the name of it. Now that's what happens when you get the exact same website getting put in. But what happens if we use a different website that already has it? So let's say One Piece here from Manga Kakalot. We're going to add this and we'll see that One Piece here is actually already from Viz. So if we add this, we'll find that this also won't work, giving us the same error message. And this is because we go by string distance match on the name. So if this name already exists in the database, we compare it to what gets scraped here, and then we just block the user. This is to make sure we don't erroneously update any records that we don't want to. So if we wanted to add a different one, we'll have to delete it here first before we add it. Speaking of deleting, let's look here for Tales of Demons and Gods. You can see here it appears at the bottom, but maybe we just don't care about it anymore. One of the features you can see here is when you delete, nothing happens here and no records have been changed. In order to change the records in the database, any actions you take, you must click confirm changes, and this will send the request to the API, which sends the request to the database to update the records. Now for the delete, this happens extremely quickly, and we can see that it doesn't appear here anymore. And just to show for this exact same one, what happens if we were to add it back. For the addition of new records, you just click add. We see it at the bottom, doesn't have a name yet. We'll just send it back to the fast API backend that I'm using with Python to scrape everything. And we can see now that it should appear. Amazing. Tales of Demons and Gods does appear. We can scroll, there it is, its name's appeared, and you'll notice that it's back here, and it's got this updated symbol because it's been scraped today. And this is just comparing when the date it was scraped compared to the date on your machine. Now what happens if you don't see let's say what happens when everything gets too big and you try to search for a record that you think is in here but it isn't. You get quickly told, oh, okay, I'm trying to look for Naruto, for example. There's no data in the database, and you can add records to this by adding to it here. Now, initially, this website does appear with nothing in this database section here, and that gets reflected here as well, where we don't have anything. Another feature that I wanted to display is what happens with this box itself. We don't want it to infinitely display records here. So what I've done is, if I were to just add a new one, let's type in sword, let's add this one. We're just going to add a few more records in here, just to show. We'll go Shonen Jump. JJK is popping off, so we'll grab that. And we can see it's appeared there. Let's Let's add another one for JJK. Cool. You can see that it's updated. It's now appeared here. We can just do show more. This way records don't always fully appear, which is great. You can show more and show less. Now just to demonstrate as well what this may look like on mobile, just go here. You can type into search. You can sort as well. Sort again. Sorry, there we go. And you can see that's essentially what it looks like. It displays the same amount of records within this grid, and then you can show more, and then there's more information at the bottom there. Cool, thank you.